Hello everyone, tonight on Margaret Radio, Health in Later Life, we're settling into a quiet space together, where the pace slows down and your thoughts can drift like clouds over a still lake. As you ease into your chair or under the covers, you might begin to notice just how much your body carries, every single day. It moves you through the world. It carries your memories, your routines, your favorite snacks, and your small victories. But there are parts of your body that work in near silence, no fuss, no obvious headlines. High cholesterol is one of those quiet passengers. It doesn't always make itself known with loud alarms or sudden aches. Instead, it lingers, softly shifting things behind the scenes. It's patient. Sometimes too patient. And if you're not tuned in, you might not notice its whispers until they turn into something more serious. That's why tonight, we're listening more closely. Not with anxiety, not with judgment, just with gentle awareness. There's something beautifully powerful about simply paying attention. About understanding the quiet language your body speaks, even when there's no pain, no obvious signal, just small signs that can be easy to miss. Now, maybe you're thinking, well, everything's a symptom of something these days. And you're not wrong. I once spent 20 minutes Googling a cramp in my foot and convinced myself I was developing gout, poor circulation, and maybe even scurvy all at once. And what did it turn out to be? A new pair of socks. A little tight at the ankle. So yes, it's easy to overthink. We've all been there. That's why tonight isn't about fear. It's about peace. About being informed in a calm, cozy kind of way. Like how you'd learn something useful while waiting for tea to steep. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And if you feel like it, drop your city and local time in the comments. I always love seeing where everyone's listening from. Whether it's 7 p.m. in Melbourne or 2 a.m. in Michigan, there's something comforting in knowing we're sharing this quiet moment together. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You begin by noticing little things. Maybe you've felt a bit more tired walking uphill lately. Maybe your skin feels different, slightly waxy bumps near your eyes, perhaps, or a sudden puffiness in your ankles that lingers longer than usual. They're not painful, not even necessarily alarming. But something in you wonders if these little things might mean something. Like your body is sending gentle postcards before the main event. You just haven't been reading them yet. And that's where cholesterol likes to hide. Not in chaos, but in quiet. It often begins quietly, like a soft hum beneath everyday life. You might not feel anything dramatic. No flashing lights. No sharp stabs of pain. Just a subtle drift in how your body feels. A small shift in your energy. A sense that walking up the stairs takes a little more out of you than it used to. That maybe your ankles are puffier in the evenings, or that your skin seems to have a faint shine in new places, almost like wax. You brush it off, of course. Who wouldn't? But this quiet background hum can sometimes be the sound of high cholesterol doing its work behind the scenes. It's sneaky not because your body is failing you, but because cholesterol itself isn't inherently bad. You need it. Your cells use it to build their membranes. Your hormones rely on it. Even vitamin D production needs cholesterol as a starting point. The real concern begins when balance tips out of place, when there's too much of the waxy stuff flowing through your bloodstream. You don't feel cholesterol swirling in your veins. But over time, that excess can start to build up on the inside of your artery walls. Like plaque on teeth, only hidden deep inside. Soft at first, then gradually hardening. Quietly narrowing the space for blood to flow. That's where the whispers begin. And it's not just about food, though that's where many minds go first. You think of greasy breakfasts or a handful too many of salty snacks, and sure, diet plays a role. But cholesterol levels are shaped by a web of influences, and they're not always obvious. Your genes, for instance, might be working quietly behind the scenes. You could have inherited a tendency toward higher LDL, what many call the bad cholesterol, even if you eat reasonably well. It's called familial hypercholesterol, and it can keep your numbers elevated regardless of your lifestyle. If a parent or sibling had heart issues young, that could be your first nudge to listen more closely to your own story. Then there's age. Yes, that slow and steady companion. As you move through your 50s and beyond, your body naturally shifts its internal chemistry. Your liver might slow down in processing cholesterol. Hormonal changes, especially around menopause, can cause LDL to rise and HDL, the good kind, to dip a little. That's not failure. That's just change. And understanding it can be a gentle, grounding thing. And what about stress? That ever-present undercurrent in modern life. You carry it in your shoulders, in your breath, in the pace of your heart. Chronic stress isn't just an emotional weight, it has physical consequences too. It nudges your body to release more cortisol, which in turn affects how fat is processed and stored. Over time, this stress can inch your cholesterol numbers upward, even if everything else seems in check. Then there's movement, or the lack of it. Not everyone wants to jog marathons. That's not what this is about. But when your days are mostly seated at a desk, on the couch, in the car, your body's metabolism can slow. Muscles don't get the signal to burn fats for fuel. Blood flow shifts. Enzymes involved in clearing cholesterol from your bloodstream begin to quiet down. You don't have to become an athlete, but your body does love a gentle stroll now and then. Even a walk around the block after dinner, or a slow stretch in the morning light, can remind your system to keep things moving. And let's not forget medications. Some treatments for other conditions can affect how your body handles fats. Steroids, certain blood pressure drugs, even hormone replacement therapy can influence your lipid levels. Again, not a failure, just something to be mindful of. If you're taking medication and also noticing subtle changes, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to bring it up gently with your doctor. Of course, food still matters, but not in the never eat cheese again kind of way. It's more nuanced than that. Your body reacts to saturated fats, to trans fats, to sugar, yes, even sugar more than you might expect. Sugar can turn into triglycerides in the liver, which are part of your cholesterol profile. That's why balance is better than banning. Adding fiber, especially soluble fiber like oats, apples, beans, can help soak up excess cholesterol like a sponge in your digestive tract. Little daily choices add up like coins in a jar. Then there's alcohol. A glass of red wine now and then may have some benefits, but overindulgence, especially binge drinking, can raise triglycerides and strain the liver. Your body's like a garden, it thrives when tended gently, not flooded all at once. And sleep, perhaps one of the most underestimated players. Poor or broken sleep disrupts hormonal rhythms. Your body may increase its production of cholesterol as a stress response. You might wake up groggy and crave sugary comfort foods. One night of bad sleep is no crisis. But night after night, the effects ripple outward. You might be wondering, why doesn't my body tell me more clearly when cholesterol is too high? That's a fair question. The answer lies in how silently the condition develops. There's no pain sensor inside your arteries. No flashing sign in your bloodstream. The signs are small, spread out, sometimes cosmetic, like those little fatty bumps around the eyes called xanthelasma. Other times, it's fatigue, or a feeling of heaviness you can't quite explain. For some, it's numbness or coldness in the extremities. For others, it might be the slow healing of a minor cut. Your circulation may be trying to tell you something, but not in words. That's why routine blood tests matter. They're like translators for the quiet messages inside you. And if you've ever wondered, why are my numbers different from someone else who eats the same as me, you're not alone. Bodies are beautifully complex. They each carry different stories, different histories. What raises one person's cholesterol might not affect someone else at all. That's not unfair, it's just human. And the beautiful part? You don't need perfection. You don't need to overhaul your whole life overnight. Awareness is enough for now. Listening is the first act of self-care. Tonight, as you lie there, simply acknowledging the quiet signals from within, you're already stepping toward balance. Let that be enough for this moment. You breathe in deeply now. There's something grounding in the awareness that knowledge itself is soothing, like running warm water over stiff hands. You don't need to panic. You don't need to rewrite your whole life by morning. Just listen. Because when you begin to notice your body's quiet signals, you also open the door to gentle, practical steps, solutions that don't shout or rush, but ones that fit into your life like a soft blanket draped over your shoulders. It starts, often, with small decisions. The first of which might be as simple as reading a food label a little more closely, not because you're afraid of a number, but because you're curious. You begin to see saturated fats listed there, or trans fats. Maybe the sodium catches your eye. You remember now that saturated fats, especially from red meats and full-fat dairy, can raise LDL cholesterol. But what does that mean for you, really? It doesn't mean giving up every bite of cheese or saying farewell to Sunday roast forever. It means shifting toward leaner cuts, choosing grilled or baked instead of fried. It means maybe trying olive oil in place of butter just once this week. Little changes. Small forks in the road. You don't walk them all at once. You try oatmeal in the morning instead of sugary cereal. You don't love it at first, but then you add cinnamon and a handful of berries. It tastes like comfort. You hear somewhere that soluble fiber, the kind in oats and legumes, binds to cholesterol in your digestive tract and helps carry it out of your body. You didn't know your breakfast could do that. But now you do. And then there's movement. That gentle, loving relationship between you and your body in motion. You don't need a gym membership or high-intensity anything. Maybe it starts with stretching your arms overhead before you even get out of bed. A slow neck roll. A walk to the mailbox. The gentle swing of your arms as you pace around the kitchen while the tea steeps. These moments tell your body, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm moving. Your muscles use cholesterol to build energy. Movement helps shift the ratio, raising HDL, the good cholesterol that helps remove the LDL from your bloodstream. And when you move regularly, even just a little, your blood vessels respond with gratitude. They stay flexible. They flow more easily. Some days, you may feel too tired. That's okay too. Rest is not the enemy of health, it's part of it. But on the days when energy visits you like a gentle breeze, accept the invitation to walk. Even 10 minutes after dinner can help lower cholesterol over time, especially when it becomes a ritual. A new favorite route. A moment of peace. You may also start sipping green tea now and then. Maybe you've heard it contains catechins, natural compounds that might help lower LDL levels. It doesn't need to replace your coffee. Just become a companion in the rotation. Something you reach for when your mind feels busy, and your heart needs a pause. And what about medication? You may wonder, when is it time to take a statin? Or do I really need pills if I feel fine? These are common questions. Ones many people wrestle with. There's no shame in needing support. For some, lifestyle changes aren't enough to bring cholesterol down to safer ranges. That's not weakness. That's biology. Medication can be a helping hand, not a punishment. Something you work with, not something you surrender to. If your doctor suggests treatment, you still get to ask questions. You still get to take time. And you also get to celebrate what medication makes possible: more years, more walks, more family dinners, more laughter. And fewer surprises from the quiet narrowing of arteries. You also begin to notice your plate, not just what's on it, but how you feel after eating. You start adding color. Greens, oranges, deep reds. Leafy spinach here, sweet potatoes there, avocado when it's ripe just right. You may hear someone mention plant sterols, naturally occurring substances in nuts and seeds that can help block cholesterol absorption in your gut. So you scatter almonds on your salad. Not for the crunch, but for the quiet work they're doing inside. And then, you hydrate. Water doesn't lower cholesterol directly, but it helps your liver, helps your digestion, helps your body metabolize fats efficiently. It clears out what's no longer needed. It refreshes. You fill a glass and sip it slowly. Maybe with a squeeze of lemon. Maybe just cool and clear. You realize hydration feels like kindness. You also pay attention to your sleep. You stop thinking of it as lost time and begin seeing it as the silent repair shop where your body does its best behind-the-scenes work. You set a bedtime. You dim the lights early. You unplug from noise. And you remember that during deep sleep, your body regulates hormones like leptin and insulin, both connected to how cholesterol is processed and stored. And stress. That old companion you've carried so long. You begin to meet it with new tools. Maybe a few deep belly breaths in the morning. Or gentle yoga. Or just quiet sitting with your thoughts and a window view. You don't eliminate stress. No one does. But you can learn to smooth its edges. And that, too, eases the burden on your heart. Some days, you might feel discouraged. You see a number on your lab results and wonder, is it getting better? Progress feels invisible sometimes. But numbers are only one part of the story. How you feel lighter, clearer, more present is just as real. Remember, too, that cholesterol levels can fluctuate. They respond slowly to change. So don't rush them. Let time be your friend. A lesser-known tip. Try adding flaxseed to your yogurt or smoothie. Ground flaxseed is rich in omega-3s and lignans, which have been shown to modestly help cholesterol levels. It tastes mild, almost nutty. Just a spoonful. It's these tiny gestures of love that accumulate. And if you smoke, perhaps this is the season you consider stepping back. Tobacco doesn't just hurt your lungs, it damages blood vessels, making it easier for cholesterol to stick and form plaques. Quitting is hard. But help exists. And you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be willing. You may also come across fermented foods in your journey, things like kimchi, kefir, or sauerkraut. These may support gut health, which in turn can influence lipid metabolism. It's not a miracle cure, but a possible helper. A tasty one, even. And remember this, health is not a finish line. It's not a destination you either reach or fail to reach. It's a gentle path you walk. Some days, you stray from it. Other days, you wander right back. But you're always allowed to continue the journey. Always. If you're ever unsure, confused by the flood of health advice, it's okay to pause. Return to the basics: whole foods, movement, rest, connection. That's the foundation. That's the warm hearth at the center of everything. And maybe, just maybe, you write down your questions for your next checkup. You bring them into the room like old friends. You ask, is this normal for someone like me? You speak up, even softly. Because you matter. And your body, even when quiet, is always telling its story. Now, you're just learning to listen more closely. Let this be your peace tonight. You're not behind. You're not broken. You are tuning in. The room feels a little quieter now. Even if your thoughts are still gently turning, like clothes tumbling slowly in the dryer, your body is starting to soften. Shoulders drop. Jaw unhinges slightly. The rhythm of your breath smooths like a lullaby you forgot you knew. This stillness, this is where the healing begins. Because now, you've spent time not just hearing about cholesterol, but really listening to what it means, how it behaves, and how you can walk alongside it rather than run from it. And that changes something inside you. It adds just a bit more steadiness. A bit more confidence. A bit more grace for the body that's carried you here. There's a comfort in knowing that you don't need to do everything all at once. You only need to notice. Gently. Kindly. And maybe tomorrow, you do just one thing differently. Maybe you pause before reaching for that salty snack and ask, what would feel good after this moment, too? Maybe you put on socks and go for a slow walk, even if it's just to the mailbox and back. Maybe you schedule that checkup you've been avoiding, not because something is wrong, but because it's okay to be proactive. It's okay to take care of yourself without guilt. You remember now that your body doesn't usually shout. It whispers. Through tired legs. Or that sense of fullness even after small meals. Or the little puffiness around your ankles that didn't used to be there. None of these things scream danger. But when noticed with compassion, they become messages you're finally learning to read. Your body has always spoken in this gentle way. And tonight, in the quiet of your room, with the hum of the fan, or maybe just the silence of a screen gone dark, you're letting that conversation deepen. You've heard about plaque, not the scary kind from a textbook, but the slow buildup of extra cholesterol lining your blood vessels like soap scum on a shower wall. And now you also know that movement, food, rest, kindness, these are your gentle scrub brushes. Not to erase what's happened, but to soften what's ahead. It's easy to be hard on yourself. To look back and think, why didn't I start sooner? But the truth is, every moment of listening is a new beginning. And your body, no matter how long it's carried the extra weight or stress or numbers on a lab report, is still rooting for you. Still working with you. Still ready to respond. So you breathe out. Maybe you place your hand over your heart and feel its steady pulse, its quiet thump, 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 a sound that's been with you through every high and low. And now, you promise it just a little more support. Just a little more attention. Nothing radical. Nothing rushed. You might even close your eyes and picture your arteries like soft garden hoses, flexible, flowing, free of unnecessary clutter. You imagine the blood moving freely, like a river unclogged. And you remember that change is not a crash or a sprint. It's a winding walk you take slowly, day by day, choice by choice, thought by thought. Tonight, you've done something important. You've chosen stillness. You've chosen learning. You've chosen awareness. That counts. It really does. You're not alone in wondering, is this just part of aging? Or why didn't my doctor say more? But now, you know that questions are signs of care. Curiosity is a form of health. And your questions? They've brought you here. Let that be enough, for now. Let the weight on your chest melt. Let your fingers relax. Let your ears hold the memory of every small step you can take, not because you must, but because you can. Because your body, with all its quirks and quiet alarms, is still yours to nurture. You are doing enough. You are becoming aware. You are listening. And sometimes, that's the loudest kind of healing there is. Now, sleep if you can. Or just rest in this quiet moment. There's no need to decide everything tonight. No need to solve every part of your health puzzle in one sitting. The sun will rise again. The next meal will come. The next walk, the next breath, the next choice. They will all greet you like old friends who've been waiting patiently. Your body will keep speaking. Softly. Kindly. And now, you know how to listen.